Hello, dear friends. I'm Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Baseball Legends. Al Leiter is a name that echoes with respect and admiration throughout the baseball world, but his story goes far beyond statistics. With a career that spanned nearly 2 decades, he wasn't just a reliable pitcher. He was a strategist, a player who knew how to use his mind to command the mound. In an era where young stars were often defined by the velocity of their pitches, Leiter stood out for his tactical intelligence and his ability to overcome obstacles, including injuries that could have ended his career. His journey in Major League Baseball, MLB, wasn't marked by a single explosive moment, but rather by a level of consistency that made him one of the most respected pitchers of his generation. Over the years, he built a solid career, earning 2 All-Star Game selections, winning World Series titles, and leaving his mark in the postseason with unforgettable performances. But behind all that success was a story of perseverance, resilience, and a unique ability to reinvent himself, making him a role model for the young pitchers who followed in his footsteps. Watch this video until the end and discover the most thrilling moments of Al Leiter's career. What are your favorite memories of the pitcher? Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us your perspective on this baseball icon's legacy. Al Leiter was much more than just a baseball player. He was a living encyclopedia of the sport, always ready to share his knowledge with the new generation of athletes. His impact, both on and off the field, is immeasurable, from his crucial contributions to his team's victories to his role as a commentator and mentor after retirement. In this video, we're going to explore the career and legacy of Al Leiter, a man who didn't just play the game. He understood it deeply and, through that understanding, helped shape the future of baseball for generations to come. Al Leiter had a career start that mixed promise with setbacks, but from his earliest moments as a professional player, it was clear he had a natural talent for the mound. Drafted by the New York Yankees in the second round of the 1984 draft, Leiter quickly caught the scouts' attention with his powerful left arm and refined pitch arsenal for someone so young. Coming from the state of New Jersey, he grew up a Yankees fan, which made his debut for the club even more special. The pressure of playing for such a high-profile franchise never seemed to faze him. On the contrary, he showed strong personality and confidence even in the minor leagues. His official Major League Baseball debut came on September 15, 1987, when he was just 21 years old. Facing the Toronto Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium, Leiter delivered an encouraging performance. He pitched 6 innings and allowed only 1 run. Despite his youth and the natural tension of the moment, he showed solid control and an already sharp curveball, something rare for a rookie. Coaches and fans began to see him as a key piece for the future of the Yankees rotation. Many believed that, over time, he would become the team's ace thanks to his combination of intelligence, composure, and raw ability. However, the beginning of his journey was also marked by physical adversity. Shortly after his debut, Al Leiter began dealing with a series of recurring injuries, mainly to his shoulder and elbow. These physical setbacks prevented him from gaining rhythm and consistency in the seasons that followed, hindering his development. In New York, still, even with the challenges, coaches saw potential in his playing style and believed in his recovery. He was seen as a long-term project, someone who, once he overcame his physical issues, could finally live up to expectations. Between 1988 and 1989, Leiter spent more time in rehab in the minors than with the Yankees' main roster. The frustrations mounted, but his work ethic and commitment to recovery stood out. He wasn't easily discouraged and continued training with determination, always striving to improve, even on the sidelines. When given the opportunity to play, he showed flashes of brilliance, a mix of well-placed fastballs and smart off-speed pitches. These glimpses only reinforced the belief that, once healthy, he could have a solid career in the majors. The New York environment, however, was unforgiving for young players who couldn't contribute immediately. With pressure from the media and fans for quick results, the Yankees began losing patience with Leiter's slow progress. Eventually, in April 1989, he was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, ending his first stint with the franchise that had drafted him. The trade, although disappointing at the time for a player who wanted to succeed with his childhood team, turned out to be a positive turning point in Leiter's career. He now had the chance to start over in a less chaotic environment, with a better opportunity to develop at his own pace. Despite the brief and turbulent stint with the Yankees, Leiter's early MLB years served as an important foundation for his growth. He learned early on about the physical and mental demands of professional baseball, and he developed the resilience that would carry him throughout his career. The experience in New York, though full of obstacles, helped shape his competitive character and his tactical understanding of the game. Later, as an established veteran, he would often reflect on those early years as formative to his identity. As a player, the talent had been there all along. All he needed was time and the right setting to fully blossom. The move to the Toronto Blue Jays in 1989 marked a pivotal turning point in Leiter's career. After frustrating years with the Yankees, where his talent was overshadowed by constant injuries, the trade represented a fresh start. In Toronto, he found a more stable and less pressured environment, ideal for his physical and mental recovery. The Canadian team saw Leiter as a long-term investment, willing to dedicate time and resources to his development. Still, the road to establishing himself as a regular starter wasn't immediate. His early years with the Blue Jays were also marked by physical challenges, including surgeries and rehab stints that tested his resilience. The key turning point came when Leiter adopted a more mindful approach to his own body. He began investing heavily in physical therapy, stretching, targeted strengthening exercises, and mechanical adjustments aimed at reducing strain on his left arm. Over time, these efforts started to pay off. Throughout the 1993 and 1994 seasons, he managed to stay healthy for longer stretches, which allowed him the consistency needed to regain his confidence and rhythm. More than just physically prepared, he also matured as a player, learning to read hitters with greater precision and to better control his emotions on the mound. It wasn't until 1995, at the age of 29, that Leiter finally established himself as a reliable starter in the Blue Jays rotation. That year, he reached a symbolic milestone, completing his first full season without serious injuries, throwing over 200 innings and maintaining consistency from start to finish. His arsenal, including a solid fastball, sharp slider, and effective changeup, allowed him to face any lineup with confidence. More importantly, he had overcome the doubt that had followed his name since his time with the Yankees. Now, he was viewed as a veteran capable of contributing at a high level, someone who could be counted on for solid outings week after week. This breakthrough was a direct result of his perseverance and tireless mindset. Leiter refused to be defined by the injuries that nearly ended his career prematurely. Instead, he used each setback as a learning experience and each season as another opportunity to prove his worth. The time he spent away from the mound wasn't wasted. He studied the game, analyzed opponents, and refined his mechanics. When he finally got the chance to pitch regularly, he was more prepared than ever, not just physically, but also mentally and tactically. Leiter's journey to becoming a full-time starter was long and filled with obstacles, but his ability to overcome them became one of the defining traits of his career. The 1993 season was historic for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Leiter played a key role in the team's success, even without holding a permanent spot in the starting rotation. That year, after years of battling injuries, Leiter managed to stay healthy enough to make a significant contribution as a versatile arm out of the bullpen. He became a valuable asset to the roster, capable of pitching long relief in tough situations, or serving as a spot starter when needed. His flexibility made him a key piece for manager Cito Gaston, who trusted Leiter's experience and resilience in high-pressure moments. During the 1993 playoffs, Al Leiter's value became even more evident. Though not the most talked-about name on the roster, he stood out for his efficiency and control when called upon. His performance against opposing hitters in close games gave the coaching staff greater confidence in managing the usage of their starters. On a team that already featured stars like Pat Henkin, Juan Guzman, and Dave Stewart, Leiter provided the depth needed for a squad aiming to repeat its World Series title from the previous year. His ability to keep games under control during middle innings was vital in preserving leads on several occasions to in the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Leiter had his shining moment. In Game 1 of the series, he was called upon to hold back the Phillies' aggressive offense. Although he was still re-establishing himself after tough years, he showed the poise and maturity of a veteran, managing to contain the opposing threat and keep the Blue Jays ahead. His performance directly contributed to Toronto taking an early lead in the series, setting the emotional tone for the remaining games. While he may not have been one of the statistical standouts, his reliability and composure under pressure were crucial elements in the team's overall success. Al Leiter's presence on that championship roster was symbolic, representing a player who learned to grow within his role and adapt to the team's needs. He proved that even without star status, it's possible to be a decisive contributor on a championship team. His impact reflected not only talent, but also a deep understanding of the game, something he had developed over years of physical adversity. The 1993 World Series victory wasn't just a win for the Blue Jays. It was also a form of personal redemption for Leiter, who, after years of uncertainty, finally had the chance to celebrate at the highest level of the sport he loved. Al Leiter's arrival to the Florida Marlins in 1996 marked a major turning point in his career. After years of reinventing himself as a pitcher and overcoming the physical limitations that had hindered him early on, he finally had the opportunity to showcase his full potential as a consistent starter. The environment in Miami proved ideal for this new phase, a young, ambitious team with room for experienced veterans like Leiter to take on leadership roles. It didn't take long for him to establish himself as one of the most reliable arms in the rotation, bringing stability to a developing team. The most iconic moment of his first season with the Marlins was, without a doubt, the no-hitter he threw on May 11, 1996, against the Colorado Rockies. It was the first time a Marlins pitcher had ever achieved such a feat, and that epic performance cemented Leiter's reputation as a cerebral and dominant pitcher. He controlled the game masterfully, mixing his fastball with off-speed pitches and smart location, displaying maturity and precision. That accomplishment was not only a historic milestone for the franchise, but also a statement that Leiter had truly transformed into a bona fide ace. In 1997. The fruits of this resurgence became even more apparent. The Marlins, having built a competitive roster with the additions of players like Moises Alou, Bobby Bonilla, and Livan Hernandez, surprised many by making it to the postseason. Leiter played a crucial role in that journey, bringing his playoff experience from Toronto to a group still searching for its identity. During the playoffs, he showed emotional control and the ability to deliver in high-stakes moments, performing with calm even under intense pressure. His contributions were essential in the team's World Series victory over the Cleveland Indians, capping off a season of validation. That championship with the Marlins was more than just another title in Al Leiter's career. It was the crowning achievement of an athlete who refused to be defined by early struggles. His role in the team's victorious campaign was that of a veteran who led by example, both on and off the field. Beyond the stats, he brought consistency, tactical intelligence, and a work ethic admired by teammates and coaches alike. In many ways, his time with the Marlins represented the peak of his reinvention, cementing him as one of the most respected pitchers in the league during the latter half of the 1990s. A.L. Leiter reached the peak of his career during his time with the New York Mets, a team with which he not only became the ace of the rotation, but also one of the central figures in the franchise's resurgence in the late 1990s. Arriving with the Mets in 1998 after a successful stint with the Florida Marlins, Leiter quickly embraced the responsibility of being the ace for a team striving to reclaim prominence in the National League. With a combination of strike zone command, a refined pitch arsenal, and competitive intelligence, he stood out season after season, consistently ranking among the team's leaders in innings pitched and strikeouts. The year 1999 was particularly significant. With a strong campaign, Leiter helped the Mets secure a playoff berth for the first time since 1988, ending a long wait for New York fans. In crucial moments, he shined brightly, especially in one of the most memorable games of his career, the tiebreaker game against the Cincinnati Reds, in which he threw a complete game shutout, securing the Mets' spot in the postseason. His dominant performance under pressure showcased not only his technical skill, but also his ability to emotionally lead a team with big aspirations. It was a prime example of how an experienced veteran can carry a team on his shoulders in critical moments. In 2000, Leiter once again played a key role in leading the Mets to the World Series, this time against their historic rivals, the New York Yankees. Although the Mets didn't win the title, Leiter's presence on the mound symbolized the competitiveness and revival of the franchise during that era. His playoff performances that year reinforced his reputation as a big-game pitcher, someone who elevated his play when it mattered most. During his years with the Mets, Al Leiter not only delivered impressive stats, but also established himself as a clubhouse leader, a mentor to younger pitchers, and a true icon in New York City. It was, without a doubt, the highest point of his career and the moment when his MLB legacy was definitively sealed. Over the course of his Major League Baseball career, Al Leiter built a strong reputation as a highly reliable pitcher. He was not just a natural talent, but a tireless competitor with deep knowledge of the game and a standout work ethic. What set him apart most was his durability. Season after season, Leiter was a constant presence in the rotation, logging innings, and serving as the quiet leader teammates and coaches knew they could count on. He wasn't the kind of pitcher who relied solely on velocity, but rather on precision, tactical intelligence, and the ability to face dangerous lineups with poise. His commitment to both physical and mental preparation made him a true workhorse in every sense. During his prime years, especially with the Florida Marlins and New York Mets, Leiter often led his teams in innings pitched, reflecting his ability to go deep into games and spare the bullpen. In an era when pitcher specialization was growing, he still shouldered the responsibility of pitching into the 8th or 9th inning, demonstrating resilience and emotional control. His arsenal, which included a well-placed fastball, sharp curveball, and effective cutter, was used wisely to outsmart hitters throughout entire games. More than just numbers, Leiter exuded a sense of stability. Whether starting a key series or pitching in a postseason game, he brought a level of focus and calm to the field. That recognition didn't come just from stats, but from the respect he earned among teammates, coaches, and even opponents. Players often remarked on Leiter's intensity and how his presence on the mound raised the team's competitive level. Additionally, he became a trusted figure off the field, mentoring younger pitchers and serving as a bridge between generations of players. His longevity, paired with consistent performance, made him synonymous with dependability in the rotation, a classic example of how intelligence, preparation, and competitiveness can extend and enrich a pitcher's MLB career. Al Leiter was selected to the All-Star Game twice during his career. First in 1996 while with the Florida Marlins, and again in 2000 as a standout with the New York Mets. These selections weren't just symbolic honors, but legitimate reflections of the consistency and excellence he displayed season after season. The 1996 selection marked an important milestone, crowning his comeback after years battling injuries early in his career. As one of the top names in the Marlins rotation, he had thrown a no-hitter that season and consistently dominated opponents. Being named to the Midsummer Classic showed that he was recognized not just for his numbers, but for the respect he commanded in the clubhouse and throughout the league. His second selection, in 2000, came at a meaningful time when Leiter was the veteran leader of a Mets team making a run to the World Series. Already known as a big-game pitcher, his All-Star appearance that year reflected his continued relevance and ability to maintain a high level of performance even after more than a decade in the league. He represented the Mets not only as a pitcher, but as a symbol of stability, experience, and technical excellence. Being recognized by coaches and peers at an event showcasing the league's top talent was a clear sign that Leiter stood among baseball's elite, even in a highly competitive era of pitchers, more than just stats or standout games. Al Leiter's All-Star appearances reinforced his image as a trusted and respected player. These moments are milestones in any athlete's career, and in Leiter's case, they help tell the story of someone who overcame adversity, reinvented himself over the years, and managed to stay relevant through different phases of the game. His selections in 1996 and 2000 show that he didn't just have a fleeting moment of brilliance, but a solid career that spanned generations of great players. The All-Star Games were celebrations of his skill, but also lasting recognition of his impact on Major League Baseball. Al Leiter built a strong reputation as a reliable pitcher in high-stakes moments, especially during the postseason. One of the most memorable highlights of his career occurred in 1999 when he threw a complete game shutout against the Cincinnati Reds in the wild card tiebreaker game. With everything on the line, Leiter shined, pitching 9 scoreless innings and securing a 5-0 victory for the Mets. That performance not only propelled the team into the playoffs, but also solidified his image as a true big-game pitcher, someone who elevated his game under the highest pressure. It was one of the standout performances of the season and confirmed his role as both the emotional and technical leader of the Mets rotation. Beyond that pivotal game, Leiter had several other memorable playoff performances throughout his career, while playing for different teams. In 1997, as a member of the Florida Marlins, he contributed to the team's World Series championship run. In 2000, he returned to the Fall Classic with the Mets, starting 2 games against the New York Yankees in the famed Subway Series. Although the Mets didn't capture the title, his performances showcased courage, control, and experience during moments of extreme pressure. Throughout his career, Leiter consistently proved he was a dependable arm when the lights were brightest, a trait that set him apart and earned him lasting respect from teammates, coaches, and fans. After retiring from the field in 2005, Leiter made a successful transition into sports broadcasting, establishing himself as one of the most respected baseball analysts in the United States. His extensive pitching experience, paired with his clear and engaging communication skills, quickly made him a valuable presence in broadcasts. Leiter began his new chapter as a commentator for ESPN, where he provided detailed analysis and technical insights that helped both casual fans and seasoned viewers better understand the game's nuances. He later joined the Yes Network, which covers New York Yankees games, the franchise where he started his MLB career. With the launch of MLB Network, Leiter found a new platform to thrive as a full-time analyst, becoming one of the most recognized voices on the channel. His straightforward yet informative style, and his ability to explain complex strategies in an accessible way won over audiences and earned the respect of peers. He regularly appears on expert panels and live broadcasts, analyzing pitching performances, breaking down tactical decisions, and sharing behind-the-scenes perspectives from professional baseball. Leiter's transition from the mound to the studio has been as steady and impactful as his playing career, and he continues to influence the sport as an educator and ambassador for future generations. Over nearly 2 decades in Major League Baseball, Al Leiter built a legacy defined by consistency, tactical intelligence, and a refined mental approach to the game. Unlike many pitchers who relied solely on brute strength, Leiter stood out for his ability to read hitters, vary his pitches with surgical precision, and maintain control even in the tensest situations. This strategic mindset was key to his longevity and success across multiple teams, including the Blue Jays, Marlins, and Mets. Even in the face of physical challenges and the pressure of high-stakes games, he managed to reinvent himself, finding ways to remain effective without sacrificing performance quality. His baseball IQ made him not only a respected competitor, but also a valuable resource for coaches and teammates. In addition to his technical ability, Leiter's professionalism and resilience served as inspiration for many young pitchers seeking stability and success in such a demanding sport. He wasn't just a reliable arm in the rotations he was part of. He was also an informal mentor, always willing to share knowledge, whether in the clubhouse or later as a broadcaster. His career proved that baseball isn't just a game of strength and quick reflexes, but also one of reasoning, planning, and decision-making under pressure. That's why Al Leiter's name continues to be remembered with respect, as a symbol of competitive intelligence and quiet excellence. Qualities that keep inspiring the next generation of players. Al Leiter's journey through professional baseball is a story marked by perseverance, growth, and intellect. From his early days in the major leagues with the New York Yankees to his emergence as a respected broadcaster, Leiter showed that success doesn't come from talent alone, but from the ability to adapt, learn, and evolve. After facing multiple injuries early in his career, he could have ended up as just another promising young pitcher who never reached his potential. But his determination to keep fighting for his place in the game made all the difference. His time with the Toronto Blue Jays was crucial to his development as a pitcher. There, finally free from serious injuries, Leiter found the consistency that would make him a valuable asset in any rotation. Moreover, his role in the 1993 World Series title solidified his reputation as an experienced, reliable arm, someone who could perform under pressure and make a difference when it mattered most. His growth as a player was evident not only in his stats, but also in the trust his coaches placed in him. The real resurgence, however, came with the Florida Marlins. In 1996, the no-hitter he threw became a symbol of his new phase, a sign that he had not only overcome his past, but was ready to excel at the highest level. The following year, he helped the team win its first World Series title, adding yet another memorable chapter to his career. Al Leiter had gone from being a promising talent to a solid, winning reality. His All-Star selections in 1996 and 2000 were well-earned acknowledgments of his performance and consistency. Being chosen to represent your league among the game's best is not only a personal honor. It also reflects the trust and respect he earned across the league. Even in an era full of exceptional talent, Leiter managed to stand out as one of the most reliable and consistent pitchers of his generation. His postseason performances were another high point of his career. The complete game shutout against the Reds in 1999, which secured the Mets' wild card berth, is still remembered as one of the franchise's most thrilling moments in recent memory. Leiter was always the kind of player who rose to the occasion in decisive moments, making him all the more valuable to teams chasing championships. His composure and ability to handle pressure made him a true asset in October. After retiring from the game, Leiter transitioned naturally into broadcasting. His deep technical knowledge, combined with his ability to clearly explain the game's nuances, made him one of the most respected analysts in sports television. Working for networks like ESPN, Yes Network, and MLB Network, he remained a visible, an influential figure in the baseball world, now helping to educate a new generation of fans and expand the sport's understanding. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content, and turn on the notification bell. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Leiter's legacy goes far beyond statistics. He was a symbol of resilience, tactical intelligence, and love for the game of baseball. His career is a lesson in never giving up, even in the face of the greatest challenges. Looking back at his journey, it's clear that Leiter was not just a great pitcher, but also an example of how one can reinvent themselves, grow through adversity, and leave a lasting mark on a sport that demands not only skill, but heart. His story will continue to inspire future pitchers and fans alike, proving that with effort and dedication, any obstacle can be overcome. Until the next journey, dear baseball lovers,